Okay.
Do we have somebody on Facebook? Oh, great. Is it going to do it for you too? Mike? Echo?
Probably will. They adjust the sound, it should be all right. All right, ready?
Do we have somebody confirming it's on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook. I don't see it. But...
No, not that. Oh, I forgot about that part.
Is somebody on Facebook confirming, please?
Okay.
On Facebook, I do not see it.
I don't see it either.
Wait. Hold. Hold.
All right, I see it. I see it on
Okay.
Facebook.
Apparently.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the special meeting of the Delhi Township Board of Trustees. It's April 1st, 2020. We're having a special meeting here, and we welcome those that are watching via live stream or Facebook. In a moment, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, and after that, we'll have our moment of silence. I think it's pretty obvious our moment of silence today goes to all first responders. It goes to all frontline medical teams, hospitals, all of those taking care of our loved ones as they try to take care of themselves also. So our hearts and our prayers go out to all of them, and for this township and for this entire world as they unite together to fight this invisible enemy, this horrible coronavirus. So we unite in prayer. We believe in the power of prayer and the incredible hard works that are being done by so many. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America.
United States of America.
Stands one nation under God,
Just stands.
indivisible,
Nation.
with liberty and justice for all.
For all.
Thank you. Start off with a resolution which will be declaring an emergency, and we will then introduce the resolution, then we'll have discussion.
Resolution 2020-040, resolution declaring a state of emergency for Delhi Township regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? We have Chief Campbell here, our fire chief, who's going to be discussing this emergency declaration. Chief Campbell?
No audio.
Thank you, trustees. So it's a lot has happened in the last couple weeks since we met. Certainly, we're realizing here in Delhi we have started to see the effects of this pandemic. Like other agencies, we're kind of rushing into the position of making sure that we're looking out for our healthcare providers locally, coordinating with EMA and coordinating with Hamilton County Public Health and Ohio Public Health, and just being good stewards of following the guidance and spreading the word and hoping that everyone stays safe, stays at home as much as possible, and has access to care when they need it.
Thank you, Chief. This declaration also unites us to, I guess, many other jurisdictions in Hamilton County, correct?
Yes, we'll be one of many departments or agencies already declared an emergency.
And you know what every resident is wondering right now, what exactly does it mean for us, locally, at this declaration?
Well, certainly one of the things that allows us to do is access to federal and state funds should reimbursement of these emergency costs come into play. By declaration of an emergency, it allows us to streamline our purchasing, allows us for reimbursement, it allows us to remain nimble and meet any challenges quickly, rather than the normal bureaucratic needs to do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I want to turn it over to Trustee Sturts for any comments that you might have.
No, I've been on the meetings every Tuesday and Friday with Hamilton County Public Health and, what is it? Emergency group, and they're saying the same thing. They've been encouraging everybody to do this so that we're all on the same page together and we're all eligible for the same benefits. So we're one of the, maybe not one of the first ones to get on, but they'll be glad to see that we are.
Awesome. Trustee Seavey?
Yeah, I've listened on to the same video conferences, both with Commissioner Dreehouse and Nick Crosley at the Hamilton County Emergency Management Association. And this is all in preparation. We don't know that we're ever going to need it, but it will be there for our use if we do. And that's why we're declaring it today.
Great, fantastic. Yeah, any other comments? It's absolutely incredible. I couldn't imagine going through what we're going through now without all the mass media and the Facebook and everything. By the way, thank you, gentlemen, everyone who kind of put this together so that we could have this meeting and still take care of township business. That still has to happen, but it's just absolutely amazing. And I think you guys would agree how well informed we have been for the county, the state, the federal. So we're getting good information and we're acting on that. And so this declaration of emergency, you hate to do it, but it's actually really a good thing to do. And it's just up there to keep us open for other resources and such down the road as we continue. So thank you so much for that and getting that together. Trustee Sturts.
I move to the reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, can you call the roll?
Mrs. Sturts,
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes. Great. Resolution passes. Approval of minutes.
motion to approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting held on March 11th, 2020, and dispense with the reading.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve the payment of overtime for pay periods ending February 25th, March the 10th, and March 24th, 2020.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved. Report from the fiscal officer, please. Significant transactions.
We'll skip the significant transactions. We'll come to those, back to those, our first normal meeting.
Very well.
Go ahead and do the resolution 2020-041, a resolution amending appropriations for expenses, declaring an emergency, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Is there any discussion on this resolution?
Mr. Cameron can explain it, please.
Mr. Cameron?
Sure. Probably a little remiss not backing up a little bit and explaining. Hopefully, folks watching this stream understand the state allowed local governments and others to take some measures virtually to conduct meetings. And so one of the things we have to do is we can stream it, we can do a teleconference, but it took us a little bit, but we've got the capability to stream the meeting. So that's what we're trying to do. And we're keeping the trustees on the screen so people can see their actions in this meeting. So that will probably be a regularity just to get done township business. In that regard, the first declaration of emergency allows for some things as the chief explained. This second resolution that you have and the only other piece of business you really have on your agenda is moving money into a line item so that we can do spending based on our COVID-19 responses for materials and things we don't typically have a need to buy and which are in direct response to this outbreak of COVID-19. So what this resolution is doing is putting $50,000 into a line item where where we will purchase things and then that would be easily tracked to go back and get reimbursement from. It's also taking from the general fund so the fire or police or public works parks aren't having to rely on their own budget, which they've already established for the year to make some of these purchases.
Very good. Thank you. Any other comments? Trustee Sturts, Trustee Steve?
No, thank you.
No.
Very good.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Sturts,
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes. Resolution. Trustee correspondence, Trustee Sturts.
I just personally want to thank all of our responders and all of our employees for staying on the front lines and keeping us up and moving. And appreciate especially all the work that is taken on Administrator Cameron's part to make this all work and keeping everybody distanced. I did receive a communication from a couple residents, and they wanted to know if we could coordinate with the churches of Delhi to ring our bells certain times on certain days until this is over. Don't know what that would take to accomplish, but would like to put it out there in case anybody knows how to get a hold of all the churches.
Good idea. Okay. Trustee Seavey?
I would just, without repeating everything that Trustee Sturts just said, just how appreciative we are of our own employees from Delhi Township and how cooperative they've been in adjusting to the new normal, so to speak. I'd also like to say, you know, recently on a trip to Kroger, to have their employees keep the 6-foot distance, but still yell how appreciative they are of our Delhi police being up there, I think says a world about our own Delhi police. And we can't be thankful enough for the fact that we're here, we're declaring the emergency, we're making the necessary preparations. The thing for us to do now is to pray that we're minimally affected.
Absolutely. Yep. Great comments, and I obviously concur with every one of them. You know, these aren't easy times; these are tough times. You know, but I would encourage one day at a time. Let tomorrow be tomorrow. Take care of each other today. Wash your hands. Keep social distancing. Everything that you're being told times 10. It really is that crucial for all of you. So keep doing what we're doing. Again, fight the battle one day at a time. Patience. This is one of those times. Patience is a virtue. No cool heads prevail. So be there, support each other, encourage each other. And again, thank you to everyone who's doing everything they can. And I know I thank these guys here, Knight and Dan Ryan, for trying to get this together. And Jack and said, be patient, we'll get through this, and just keep praying for each other. Thank you. Public Works, anything?
We kicked them off.
We kicked them off. Fire Department, nothing else for you, Chief?
Actually, if I could update the board on what's been going on with the fire department. Okay, just want to kind of inform you, we're seeing many of the same strains that you're seeing on the news in regards to providing health care. Pre-hospital care has been impacted regionally. Delhi is no different. We are in a scramble to acquire as much personal protective equipment as possible. We've been able to utilize some regional sources. We did have some in stock. We have reached out and got some equipment from the national stockpile. We have adjusted accordingly. We should have sufficient PPE for the time being. Again, they're expecting things to really ramp up in terms of number of folks affected in the next coming weeks. So we're going to be really tested here in a short period of time. We've adopted screening for all our personnel. Everybody screens before they come in. Now the township obviously does for all employees. But for our healthcare providers, you know, they're screened and self-screened before they come in for their shift, before they have contact with others, screened about halfway through their shift after 12 hours, and then before they leave. again, doing temperature checks and things like that to maintain a state of readiness. We're not immune. Since we've adopted these stricter screenings, we have had some time lost due to illness. You just can't take any chances. It's like the threshold's been lowered, so we've had to deal with that. We have had our first COVID-19 transport in the last week. Did have a confirmation of that. And we've had multiple suspected ones. We started tracking our COVID calls as of Sunday. So I don't have any reports just yet, but obviously in the coming weeks as the testing becomes more regular and we get more feedback from public health, I would expect that I have different numbers to share with you in the weeks ahead. We're looking into access to testing. Testing is a big challenge right now. Turnaround is still 5 to 7 days. What I think may be a game changer in the next coming weeks, and hopefully access to our healthcare providers getting tests, turning it around much faster. I think that's going to help us as well. We're also looking into access with disinfection technology. Battelle's one of those agencies that are allowing for the disinfection of our N95 masks. Certainly looking to that as an option to help preserve our PPE and make sure that we have it for the long haul. And then I'd like to just kind of finish on one of the most important things as it relates to our care is that we see that Delhi residents are generally following the stay-at-home order, and we realize it's difficult. One thing that we're working on in the future is to allow our non-transport protocols to kind of take into effect, because we can't stress enough, not everybody needs to go to the hospital for a fever and an illness. We're really trying to keep it to emergent calls. And as a pre-hospital care providers, it's part of our job to create the stopgap, to triage, to make sure that personnel or residents that call 911 do need to go to the hospital, because the hospitals are quickly going to be overwhelmed if we just flood them with a lot of patients that don't necessarily need to be in the hospital. So I would plead and plead and plead with our residents, please consult with your primary care physicians in making a decision with your doctor on calling 911 and being transported to the hospital. You have any questions for me?
Sturts?
No, but I do want to thank you for sending those 4 respirators to Mercy Hospital. I think that people need to know that you're being cooperative with our hospitals and our care providers.
Thank you.
Trustee Seavey?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Chief. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Moving to Parks and Recreation. Anything, Josh?
Yes, just a couple things about what we're doing with everything going on. Right now, we've reduced our staff to kind of a bare minimum, trying to make sure we do the essential things like empty the trash, get the grass cut, try to maintain the park. Obviously, with not much to do, our parks are filled pretty much anytime the sun's out. So the parks are open, but a lot of the amenities are closed. The restrooms, the skate park, the playgrounds, the tennis courts, fishing is suspended until further notice. So the parks are open. People are more than welcome to get outside and enjoy them. Just be aware that if you do go there, a lot of our amenities are closed for the safety of the community.
Got it. Thank you. Police Department, Chief Howarth.
Thank you, trustees. I just wanted to mention also that our employees continue to self-screen when they come to work, temperature, and if they exhibit any kind of things that would lead us to believe it's possibly an exposure, then naturally they would not be working. We've also limited, as the department's limited the amount of staffing inside the office. We do still have office personnel, 1 person in the office. We'll be answering phones during the hours of 8 and 10, usual hours. So if you have any questions or any concerns, if it's not a 911 emergency, don't hesitate to call the office. They'd be glad to help you out. If you need a copy of a report, naturally the lobby's closed, continues to be closed to the public. We can email a copy of the report to anybody. You just give us a call, give us your email address, and we can email it. If you don't have email, we can snail mail you a copy also. As far as our command staff goes, as we mentioned, we're trying to limit the number of people inside the building. So out of the 4 command staff, 1 will be working each day inside the building. The other 3 will be working at home in remote locations. Also, another good thing, ironically, today starts April 1st, is our park resource officer starts back in the park. So you'll be seeing a detail on from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. in not only Delhi Park, but it could be Story Woods Park and patrolling all the parks, 5 Points Park. So keep in mind the playgrounds. We just urge people to make sure the kids stay off the playgrounds. They don't congregate underneath shelters and talk. The skate park is closed. That's difficult to close sometimes because it's wide open. So there is tape around it and cones and forewarning. So please make sure that nobody's on the playground or the skate park. If you see that, feel free to call our office. If there's not an officer present, we will get up there and get them off of there. So we just ask that everybody continue to social distance. And one shout out to Kroger's. I think they've done a wonderful job as best they can under these circumstances. We just ask for everybody to have patience with them. They're trying to stock as much as they can after hours, hence why they're closing at 9, stocked up in the morning. So they do have limits, so don't feel like you have to be right at that door at 7 o'clock. But we just pray and ask those that come are orderly and let them do their job. We appreciate everybody and their assistance, what they're doing to try to keep the social distance.
Great, thank you, Chief. Administration, Mr. Cameron, anything to add?
I have a couple things, thanks. First of all, Ron, our Public Works Director, we were having some technical issues with him overtaking our meeting, so we had to eliminate him from the call so we could stream. But Public Works is, as are all the departments, they are operating with as minimum as they can in the office. So one of the big things that keeps being promoted is not having people around each other. And so we've done that. I've basically ordered all the department heads to eliminate unnecessary office staff. So our office will have 1 person in it during the day, and we won't have 2 people in the office to eliminate that interaction. The other departments are the same, and so what we're doing is we're basically going into our own battle mode to preserve and protect our employees, protect the public, and still provide the basic services that we need to. Everybody, outside of police, fire, and some other services that we can't not have happening, and the support to those services, those will continue, and there's not a choice with those services. But others, such as in the park, we want them to keep cutting the grass. They're not with anybody else. They're on a lawnmower. The garbage is going to have to be emptied. So there's certain things that are still being done. But otherwise, we're limiting the amount of time we have people interacting with each other just internally. We'll provide the basic services and then see how this works in the next coming weeks. Sent out general instructions to the employees, and we've continued to promote. Each department has promoted, keeping your hands clean, using sanitizer, not sharing spaces. Now we've just ratcheted that up a little bit. We will have people working from home, so that's new for us. It's not a natural movement for most of us to be working from home in this particular industry. So we're doing our best with that, and hopefully this gets over quicker than they seem to be saying. But this could be several weeks that we're in this mode, and I would reiterate, I think, what Chief Campbell there. We're going to see as these numbers go up. This is going to be a ride. We're all going to have to do together and hopefully stay together to get through it. Any phone calls, emails will be responded to. Everybody's on point to still monitor those. So if people need to try and do business with us, the doors are not shut. It's going to be a more remote connection than that personal walk-in that you might have gotten used to.
Great, thank you.
Trustee Davis,
Yes.
this is Trustee Stevie. I just have one thing to say, and that is it was important to all of us as trustees that we bring this live meeting to the residents of Delhi. We want you all to know and be comfortable with the fact that we're here and we're working. It may not be as usual, but we're here. We're here for you. We're here to respond to anything that you need. And Jack just said it. Email us, call us. We're still operating as your township government, and we're just very proud of the fact that you are holding it together out there. So we will hold it together in here. So Jack Cameron and the administrative group for getting the shifts together, the schedules is tremendous, and we really appreciate that effort because that's our service to our Delhi residents.
Well put, well said. I'm sure Trustee Sturchy would agree with that also. It's just, yeah, we keep doing what we're doing behind the scenes and out in front. We still got business to do. So, like I said, not to be cliche, pray for us, we pray for you, and we'll get through this. It's fast. We'll get through it. Great words. Thank you. Community Development, Mr. DeLong.
Thank you. On behalf of myself and the entire Community Development Department, we first want to thank all the elected officials and Administrator Cameron for their leadership through this. It's definitely been different for all of us in our department, but we're getting through it. Secondly, I just want to send a shout out to the community to continue to support our businesses in Delhi Township. We've posted 2 weeks ago a list of restaurants that were open at that time, and we had over 302 shares on Facebook, which is really, really good. So continue to support the restaurants and all of the business in Delhi right now. They are hurting, as every business is and throughout the United States at this time. So we do want to say that. And thirdly, kind of to reiterate what everyone else is talking about, we are bare bones staff in the office right now. We have one person that will be there from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We are continuing code enforcement, so people may think with everything going on, that is going to slow down, but it's actually starting to pick up. I think because we're seeing a lot of people walking around the community now to get exercise, and they're noticing things. I do ask for the community to be patient with us as we work through this because it is slowing down. We're not going face-to-face interaction with the public right now. When we have code enforcement issues, we are doing drive-by inspections only. So we do ask for the community to be patient with us. We ask for the community to be friendly with their neighbors right now. Everyone's getting a little on edge, and we have a few more weeks to get through this, but we'll all get through it in the end. So we just ask for that to occur throughout the community. But other than that, we are accepting permits still. We ask that people have their permits completed when they show up to our office. We do have them, they can enter our office to the vestibule, and that is as far as we can go. And we don't let them into our office to help finish the applications with them. So we do ask for them to do the best they can. We'll work with them on getting their applications complete and everything else. But other than that, the Department of Community Development is still working as hard as we can. The development side is a little slow right now as expected, but we're hoping when things slow down with the virus and everything gets back to normal, we'll be in high gear again. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. We're to the point of public comments. Obviously, there won't be public comments because we pretty much are keeping social distancing, but pass through that. But we are going to have a motion for our remote signature authority. So if we could entertain a motion for that, please.
Motion to approve the administrator or administrative assistant to sign resolutions, minutes, and other documents authorized at this and future meetings on behalf of the trustees, fiscal officer, and law director for all documents requiring signature until the governor's state of emergency ends or until further motion by the trustees, whichever comes first.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion is approved. Very good. I have no other business on the agenda here today. I'm going to turn it back to my fellow trustees. I know we've been saying so much, just keeping everybody together, but any closing thoughts? Rose Sturts.
No, just please stay healthy and pray for this to be over it's starting to hit home. If you don't think it's in our community, it is. And you'll be hearing more about that, I'm sure, as the days go on. So everybody, please be healthy, and I'm personally praying for everybody.
Amen. Trustee Seavey.
Yeah, I miss seeing all of you. I miss our employees. I miss the people that I know in the community. But I also know that this is the way to get through this. Obey the rules, keep the distance, wash your hands, and for heaven's sake, pray that we get through this as minimally injured as possible. And thanks for your cooperation and understanding.
Yep, absolutely. Again, one day at a time, and we'll get through this. Those of you on Facebook, we don't have the next meeting date scheduled. We'll be meeting as necessary, as I understand it, right, fellow trustees?
Yes.
Yes. We do invite you to tune in as you did today, those that are watching from home on this live feed. You will know it. We'll advertise it. Follow our website here with Delhi, delhi.ohio. Delhi.ohio. Thank you.
US.
Thank you. Everything that's going on is right on there. And then we'll also announce the dates of the next meetings and things. For the next meetings also. Thank you for your patience. Thanks everyone for being here. Really appreciate everything that's being done by so many. Be good to your neighbors. Encourage your neighbors. Everyone's got stuff on their plates right now. So again, be there for each other. We appreciate that. We'll entertain a motion then to adjourn.
With no further to be attended to, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone. Stay safe.
Don't hang up. Check on.
Everybody still there?
Okay. We got to coordinate